Hello aspirants. In this video session, we will be covering the current affairs on the current issues and the events aspects. So what we will be doing in this video is we will be uploading the most important issue which was covered in the Hindu for more than couple of weeks or for the times. So what you would be getting is that you will be understanding a complete analysis to what the issue is all about. So you will have some fodder for your UPSC mains examination as well as a factual for the prelims as well. So what we would be doing, this particular coverage is a new initiative which has been coming from the Transform IS Academy. So let us now begin with today's issue, and today we will be discussing about and understanding in detail to what is an inland waterways. So inland waterways, we know that this is one of the important pact to what the India has been signed with the World Bank. So that the project which is called as in Jal Marg Vikas project, so that they would be able to enhance the navigation on the national waterway 1. So on limelight of this, we have this coverage to first and foremost we would be understanding what is an inland waterways and facts. So here the inland waterway is nothing but a network. This particular network is in terms of the rivers, canals, backwaters and creeks which can be utilized for the transportation. So basically they are saying that the inland waterway, to whatever the means to what we just saw, whether it's rivers, canals, backwaters or creeks, which can be used for the transportation instead in addition to the roads and the rails. So we know that different modes of transportation. So instead an additional way of transportation when compared to the road and rails is the inland waterway. So why is this particular waterways thing is needed, and what is the main facts that one should know when it comes for the UPSC is that first and foremost India has nearly 14,500 kilometer of a navigable waterways. But here you should also note that recently the Jal Marg Vikas project, which actually facilitated for the vessels of nearly almost like 1,500 to 2,000 tons, then that belt is actually in the Haldia. So, I know that recently India was the first container vessel at Varanasi which had started sailing from Kolkata through inland waterways. So, basically it is from Haldia to Varanasi stretch of the river Ganga. So, this was a major works which was being undertaken by the Jal Marg Vikas project, where they wanted to have a proper development in terms of fairway, multimodal terminals or strengthening the river navigation system or conservancy works. So, all of things would be more of having the things, and moreover they are coming up with a modern river information system as well and the night navigation facilities, whether the modern methods would actually be ensured so that the channel marketing can be done for a better aspects. So, this is one of the thing, and the first container for the same has been started sailing from Kolkata through the inland waterways, and this one, the main aim is that they wanted to promote an inland waterways as a cheaper and a more eco-friendly mode of transport, wherein the other mode of transports are more costlier when compared to the inland waterways. That is the main aim, where they wanted to give a cheaper and an eco-friendly mode. And very importantly, to what you have to know as a fact of preliminary examination, does this inland waterway has got the environmental clearances? No, without any environmental clearances is what this particular project has been started. And this is the first commercial container movement in India which has been taken place after the independence. That is the first container vessel at Varanasi which had started sailing from Kolkata through inland waterways. So, this is one of the important facts that you have to know, and this one you should also know that this Jal Marg Vikas thing, which is actually to be expected that they wanted to complete it by March 2023. So, this one is basically implemented with the financial and the technical support of the World Bank. So, this is very important, the technical and the financial support is being given by the World Bank, and the project is also making the commercial navigation with almost with a NH1, that is NW1, that is 1,500 to 2,000 tons. And this is about the Sagarmala project, where it is about the National Waterway 1 which comes under the Jal Marg Vikas project, where it is almost like 1,620 kilometer stretch of the river Ganga from Haldia to Allahabad. So, you can see here this belt is actually from Allahabad to Haldia. So, here basically it is using the Ganga river. So, they are comprising with 4 different states, and the 4 states is actually, we start from West Bengal here, Jharkhand, then comes with Bihar and then the UP. So, this becomes very important for your preliminary aspects. And the coverage, the most highest coverage is actually in the West Bengal. Second highest would be with respect to the UP with 496 kilometers, wherein with respect to Bihar is 491, wherein in terms of Jharkhand it is 83 kilometers. So this is a coverage of this particular aspects. So this is very important when it comes to your mains as well as the preliminary. So this is a basic information that one should know when it comes to the inland waterways. So now let's move on with respect to the major waterways in India. What are the other major waterways that are actually been happened in India? First and foremost, you need to get in touch with one of the act which is called as an Inland Waterways Authority Act of India 1935. So this actually empowers the government where they would be able to declare waterways with the potential for the development of shipping as well as for the navigations as well. So on limelight of this is what the national waterways, and they wanted to develop such waterways for ensuring for an efficient shipping and also for the navigation. So this is most important, and moreover the 5 national waterways which has been declared it under are as follows. The first thing is the National Waterway 1, that is from Haldia to Allahabad, as we just saw, that is 1620 kilometers. Basically the Ganga Bhagirathi Hooghly river system is what is being used. Second waterway is the Dhubri and Sadhya, which is 891 kilometers. Basically they have been navigating through the Brahmaputra. Wherein the National Waterways 3 is the Kottapuram column with 205 kilometers, that is the West Coast Canal along with the Udyog Mandal and the Champakara canals, wherein the National Waterway 4 is Kakinadu and Pondicherry with 1078 kilometers, basically on the basin of the Godavari and Krishna. The National Waterway 5 is 588 kilometers, where it is the East Coast Canal integrated with Brahmani and Mahanadi Delta rivers. So these are the 5 national waterways which has been declared as of now. So these are the 5 important things to what you have to know. The first one is with respect to National Waterway 1, that is Allahabad and Haldia, and this financial support we have got it from the World Bank, and the stretch is almost with 1620 kilometers. And you should also know that what are the states which is being covered. These are the states, that's West Bengal, Jharkhand, Bihar and UP. So this becomes extremely important for the preliminary perspective. So now coming back with respect to the same thing, that one thing what you have to understand is that as per the National Waterway Act of 2016, they have declared an additional national waterways in India, and the number stands with 106. So apart from waterways being there, 106 additional NATO waterways is being declared as per the 2016 National Waterway Act. So next, the third concept is benefits of inland. So what are the basic benefits? First and foremost, now if you see that the usage of this particular inland is far way less compared to the overall belt, what India has it is 14,500 kilometers, but how much it is used is only 2,000 kilometers, since we have a numerous number of nearly 12,500 left out which can be used for a proper aspect, so that the transportation can be more, and additionally apart from the road and rail we can also use the waterways. First benefit. Second is that it is affordable cost, wherein a person can actually afford when it comes to capital or maintenance, or there would be a bulk transport also which would be possible, and all those things would be possible through an affordable cost, which means it actually consumes a very little amount, and fuel consumption is very lesser when compared to any other mode, whether if you want to go through rails or with respect to roads or aeroplanes, there is a lot of fuel and money which has been involved, but benefits of the inland waterways that the fuel consumption is lesser comparative to the other mode. And obviously since the fuel consumption is lesser, the emissions has also been lesser. Basically it's actually ensuring with the eco-friendly aspects, and it also reduces the logistic cost, and at the same time they would be able to promote the industrial growth as well as the tourism. So these are the main important thing that one should know when it comes to the benefits of the inland, and moreover they are also looking out for a multimodal and intermodal terminals as well, and moreover RoRo, that is roll on and roll off facilities also would be given. Ferry services would also be taken into consideration, so that the huge employment generation can also be given at the same time accompanied with all of them. So these are the basic developments to benefits to what you have to know. Coming back with respect to the problem, so what would be a problem when it comes to the inland waterways? First and foremost, the rivers in India, major of them are seasonal rainwaters. So here there is a chances that the dry seasons is being witnessed lot. Whenever there is a dry season, the seasonal rainfall, they get completely dried off. So this might actually hinder when it comes to the inland waterway. That is the first thing. So since the water flow would not be there continuously, still it is a debatable issue, as more of the waters are getting dried up and it has been associated with less water, the flow of the water would not be on a proper basis. So this might also be one of the problems where it might come as an hindrance when it comes to the inland waterways. Then comes with respect to dredging. So dredging is the where in the waters they actually do it on a regular basis, so that this dredging should be done, only then they would be having a promising path. So with this path only they will be able to move and ensure the cargo shipments will be done in a proper aspect, because the depth of the oceans actually matters a lot. So they have to ensure that the routes has been cleared with the muds or siltation to whatever is been on the river beds or with respect to it, they need to clear it off. So dredging is something which is very important, but whenever this dredging happens, there is a disturbance when it comes to the seabed or damage to the riverbed in return. So which means that there would be a problem associated with the marine organisms which has been having a path when it comes to the river. So which means that basically the dredging might become a hindrance when it comes to the inland waterways. And next is water pollution. So we know that this particular shipping is also involved with the oil leakage or diesel leakage or to whatever the fuel they have used it. So this might also be ensuring more of the water pollutions. So with this water pollutions, again the water would be polluted, the organisms might be getting affected, and the drinking water, since it's a river waters to what they have been using, might be polluted with a oil leakages. So this is also another associated problems. Then the berthing facilities are not up to the mark in India. So the berthing facilities is also not up to the mark, which is also one of the important challenge to what the government has to tackle, so that only then the inland waterway can be a successful part. Then people who have been depending on the fishing, that is a fishing community people, might be affected, because whenever they have been associated with the inland waterways, they have to construct the ports and certain dam construction would be there. Whenever these kinds of construction is there, obviously there would be a sort of an land grabbing. So basically the people have to be displaced from one place to another, and most of the people are being dependent on this fishing. So the fishing would not be helping them, or they might be having a problem associated with that, so that the belt of the rivers and other areas where the fishing community is actually being dependent, so these people might be under a grave negligible sector. So these people have to be kept in mind, and then they have to ensure. But this also becomes one of the biggest problems to what it has to be dealt. Then there should be a proper arrangements made for the investment in this particular sector. Since we have taken this from the World Bank, we have still no other alternatives investment model. So what they have to do is they have to come up with numerous kinds of an investment model, so that they would be able to continue with whatever the inland waterways the government has actually been started. So moreover, they have to be prepared when it comes to economically or having an efficient operators, or with respect to the cost of the fuel. So they have to be prepared, just not start up, but the continuation should be there. So sustainability should be a very important thing, and for that the government should be prepared. So that is the reason the investment in this particular sector also plays a very vital role. The other environmental pollution might also become a hinder for the movement of the cargo. So other environmental pollutions basically with respect to the turtles, whatever they lay the egg might not be there, so that might be destroyed, because most of them are through the shallow areas itself. So most of them, they move towards the shallow areas, and that would be one of the problems. Or they might be destroying the habitat of the fishes and the turtles, or the other pollutions might also be there. The turtles of the sanctuaries and other things would be in a greater hindrance. So this might also be another environmental pollution, that clearances would be a problem. So this would be something where they need to focus on, they need to work it when it comes to the problems which has been associated with the inland waterways. And then comes with respect to what would be a possible solutions for this. So first and foremost, they need to have a proper river knowledge to where and how it starts. So when they have a proper river knowledge, which means that the zoning and sensitive zone should be taken into consideration, and they have to ensure that the dredging should be done on the safe lines. If the dredging is not being as per the proper safe lines, for example, let's say there is a time period where the breeding and the spawning season is happening, and you tend to go and dredge it out there, which means that you are making the aquatic species to be under a grave threat. First and foremost, you need to have a proper river knowledge where what has been happening, and secondly with respect to dredging, when it should be started up. And whenever the government comes up with a proposal to construct with a new kinds of a port, and that port should be in the areas where it is actually not disturbing the marine organisms whenever there is a seasons for breeding or any other ways in nature. So the most important thing what the government need to do as a possible solution is that they need to ensure that the interlink waterways should be done, so that more of constructions or more usage of the ports should be avoided at the grave, so that they can use the things which has already been set up and start interlinking the waterways. When they tend to interlink, the problems which we also saw earlierly can be reduced to half of it, and moreover the latest technology should be used for the betterment. For that they would be utilizing the mode of the transport in a much more better aspects, as we just discussed, with respect to having a proper knowledge, having a figure about it, or with respect to ensuring what is the best time they have to do the dredging and what are the other kinds of betterment utilizations they can use with the use of the technology. And investment also we saw that is the most important thing, because as of now we have moved on for the World Bank, where the World Bank is giving us the loans for the same. But now it cannot be that each and every time you look something like this. So what the government has to do is that the government should welcome the PPP, that's a public private partnership, and ensure that even the private sectors are also having some initiatives when it comes to the inland waterways. So this is something they need to come up with, this PPP, which can actually ensure that the things would actually fall in place, and not only the start, the continuation of the inland waterways can also be promised. And moreover, it should be used in all possible ways, so that this particular inland waterway project to what is being started, it has been continued, and it is also being seen as a the greatest important aspects that the government should continue on. So basically what they have to do is that apart from that, they need to ban on dredging in especially in the protected habitat areas. When they actually ban it, which means that that particular breeding or spawning season will not be disturbed. So traveling along the protected areas should be restricted. So that is like other possible things which I am saying, like 50 km/h they have to restrict it, or they are not supposed to allow any kind of a noise to happen up there. The noise control mechanism should be given, or any of the aquatic life should not be disturbed. So zero discharge standards should be actually being said that, so that they would be able to prevent any of the solid or the liquid waste from the flowing into the river, or which might be affecting the biodiversities. So this would be all the possible solutions to what it has to be focused for the things to fall in place, and also to have a continuation when it comes to the inland waterways. So these were the important things. So this is a little effort to what we have done to producing on an issue aspects. So this particular kinds to whatever we have given, this becomes an extremely important one, where you will have some fodder to write your mains examination. So this is all about the 5 important things that you have to know about the inland waterways, and here the 6th one is about the initiative. So what is the government taken, and what are the most possible initiatives that is being taken? That is your assignment. So to whatever the initiatives you Google up and get it, I would request you all to put it on to the comment section, so that we will be able to understand them. The other persons can also make use of the same. So these initiatives is your assignment. I request you all to do the assignments, and this is all about it. So this is something which you have to know it in detail when it comes to the inland waterways. So likewise, we will be coming up with some more little of the inland waterways, which would be extremely important. And more importantly, what you have to ensure is about the way forward, which we have not discussed in this particular aspect. The way forward to what they have to do is that it is a time to ensure they need to have a small direct benefits from a cheaper transportation. So they have to ensure that, and that should not be compromised with the environment. So not at the cost of the environmental damage. So this is something what you have to understand when it comes to the forward, that is a way forward. So that's it. So these were the important issues and the facts that you have to know when it comes to the inland waterways. So I'll meet you with the next issue in the next consecutive days. Thank you and have a nice day.